seems very problematic, and it doesn't line up right.
I have a full-size pickup and I don't have any trouble turning the corners.
Well, that's okay.
There's no corners in there that are totally lined up in the whole cemetery. And there is people buried pretty close to the blacktop in other sections of the cemetery. So,
People are very close, but the road is not in any way in proximity like what we are talking in this road that was put in. This road should have went through the cemetery at the end of the road at section E. Wide open, you wouldn't have a tree within 5 to 10 feet of the side of your vehicle. You go to the north, just past the last cluster of trees, and you turn. And this way, anybody buried, my speech, at the north of F, you can read those tombstones, because the tombstones will run east and west. You'll be able to read them when you drive in. The road ending here, that whole knoll, you won't be able to read it. If we do this, it needs to be done so it's once and for all, and it shouldn't be placed. And the people in the asphalt business, I talked to an excavator today, he says, you never put a road within 3 foot of a tree. There is not 3 foot from that road on any one
Yeah, but
tree.
it's that cemetery, and all through that cemetery, there's trees closer than 3. It's not just that section. It's consistent throughout the cemetery.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
yes it is.
I've been out there a number of times. I don't think there's any cemetery
So
that
then
has 2-way traffic.
the other thing is I didn't realize that you couldn't read
Your sarcasm will get you nowhere.
the surveyor's paperwork. We approved where the road went, we approved the 600 sites, and we took out 3 trees to put that road in there because we had the trees plotted on the survey so we knew exactly where they were.
Yeah, absolutely. You're so correct, and your sarcasm will get you
All
nowhere.
right.
So I would say that if you insist on leaving the road where it is, that the hollowed out tree on the corner needs to go, and I would say both at the entrance of that road, so that you have the ability to go into it without having it be a sharp turn. I mean, you're literally driving between 2 trees that are the road's width apart.
This is
There's
not,
no give at all.
this is not how you lay a cemetery out. And you take, if you're going to keep your roads close to where you are saying you want to, then as it was explained to me, the road that goes east and west on the north end of F needs to be moved 3 feet, and that will cost us $2,200, so then we are not. But then even when you come in just before the turn, if you get stopped right there in a funeral procession, your passenger is not getting out of the car because you cannot open the door. See, you can drive through all day long. Ricky explained crystal clear to you that you don't put it within 3 foot of a tree, but we did. That is on
Who's Ricky?
the guy that owns the company that's asphalting out there.
He put the gravel in.
He did exactly what you told him, and he said
what
to
we
you, and you
agreed
said, well,
to.
here's the sticks, and that's what you do, and that's what he did. What you told him to do.
And that's what we approved.
No, Sam, 'cause
So
you
I
know,
make a motion to blacktop the gravel that's out there right now. And as you can see later on in the new business, we do have taking out the tree that is split and grinding the stump out. So I make a motion that we have Sokoviac pave the road that's there at this moment.
no, because that's a waste of the township taxpayers' money.
It's a waste to move it 3 feet.
No, it's not. You would go in there.
We have
We were,
12,000 into
okay,
it.
you want to get factual, we were to have a meeting out there, but it was not convenient. You had a scheduled item, so then it was moved to the next week. I understand, I said scheduled item. So you did, but then the next week, we were to meet there so that this could be held and people could actually visualize what we're talking about. But that didn't happen. Oh, we're going to have a meeting next week, it's no big deal. Until there's a meeting in that cemetery, this needs to be put on hold.
I have a motion on the floor to pave section F, the road that is there at this moment. Do I hear a second?
I second.
I'll take a roll call vote.
Yes.
Really?
There it is.
Where's my paper that says, I told you so?
It'll be a 3-2 vote, guaranteed.
Yeah, yes.
I called
That is
it.
a total waste
We
of
waste
this governmental
$12,000.
body's resource.
And our tax-paying
It's
money.
$12,000, it's already.
No, it's not 12,000, you know why? I sat out there with Ricky, we drove through where that should be, and to move this road and then finish that like it should have been put
Are
in,
you adding 3 foot onto?
adding
wherever
3
you're
foot would
talking
cost $2,200 if we were to say we,
Do you have that information with you? Because I thought you said it was gonna be 10,000.
no, I did not.
No.
You said $12,000 for the work done. I said, no, it's not. Because Ricky made it clear it is not $12,000, it's $6,000.
He said he wanted $12,000 for the work he had done,
No,
and if he paved it, he would stand by his original bid of $24,000.
okay? And he told me, quote, if we just stayed with that road and moved it 3 feet, so we are not near those trees, it would be an additional $2,200 to the previous bid. To put the road to the north so that we are not near the trees and we will service another 50% of that cemetery with the road, and it would come off of Road E, we would pay $6,200 for what was done, and it would be $36,000.
So that's 12,000 more than the 24,000 he bid.
That's to fully move it though.
I have a
not just the
motion.
three.
That's for a 750-foot road versus a 563-foot road.
And what part of that road are you trying to move 3 feet?
The north side, the whole north side.
You'd move the whole north side if you stay where you're at, and he wouldn't suggest anything less than that.
So when you turn into that road, you're still going in between the trees to get down the road.
On the east
On the
side.
north side,
East side.
there's
You
no
have 3 trees
there.
right there.
There's no,
3 trees, 1, 2, 3, rotted tree. I got the pictures right here. I'll let anybody look at them.
there's no trees on the north side of the road.
That's why you move it to the north to 3 feet.
So the next group that wants to put 600 more sites in can attach to that road, and there's room for 600 more sites.
You
I
know
have a
what?
motion on the floor,
No,
and
that
it's
is not
seconded.
true.
That is true.
If we move the road, wouldn't we have to resurvey the whole thing? I mean, I thought we already had it surveyed on
No.
where the sites were.
That whole north section has not been surveyed.
No, the whole north section has not.
Thank you. So that road could be put where it needs to be, and then survey can take place. And when you end up with 4x4 lots, those are then sold for cremation lots, because they're doing it all over the city now and out at the other cemeteries. So when you end up with the odd piece of land that's sold off as a cremation lot, and so you didn't lose a nickel. And when they take and they move the road, the very dirt from this work would then fill the previous trail, and you wouldn't have to worry about nothing. It would be done. And it would be done once and for all, 5 years, 10 years down the road, 15 years. We're not revisiting the roadway in this cemetery. It's done.
There's room for another 600 lots, just like we put in there, north of that road. And they would still have to put in roads, because the roads were put in so the senior citizens didn't have to walk so far to the cemetery plots.
If they can get out of their car.
There's a motion on the floor. That's a roll call vote.
Class.
Yes.
DeShano, no. Campbell,
No.
Davidson,
Yes.
Cruz.
Yes.
The other thing on the, last month was the copy machine, and we were concerned about the $51.25. So I gave each of you a copy of what the $51.25, that is a monthly maintenance fee, and it's whether we lease it or we buy it. The new copy machine, so it really doesn't matter one way or the other.
He left, yeah.
So I realize that this gives us actually, it seems like a higher quantity each month with the 2,500 black and white and the 400 color. However, everything like this that has a blue email address is going to count against the color. Every agenda that you pop out that says red equals update counts against the color. So those things can be printed in grayscale, so you don't have to use up our color prints for something as simple as this, just a comment. Because 400 is going to get eaten up really quickly with email addresses and tiny little notes when all the rest of it is black and white. It doesn't need to be printed in color every time. That's just a way to save some money.
So now we need to decide what we're gonna do with the copy machine. We kind of tabled this until we found out what we were gonna do with the $51. And I think we were speaking of renting the copy machine at one time.
Because if you actually lease it, when it's at the end of its life, then you can just trade,
Traded it.
rather than having a paperweight, which is what we essentially are looking at right now, is a paperweight that we paid, what, $8,000 for. So it makes a lot more sense to just lease it and let them take care of all the maintenance, and when it's time to upgrade, you upgrade, and we're not out any money.
Is that
It'll
a
probably get
motion?
shuffled over there, and there'll be absolutely no service agreement on it.
So Lori, is that a motion?
If I remember correctly, I don't have the exact figures, I apologize, I didn't grab the right packet. I don't have the exact figures of leasing that in front of me, do you have it right there?
No, I didn't.
I mean, we were leaning towards leasing it, we just didn't know about this being a service fee for just leasing or providing. So I was on board with leasing it, I just wanted confirmation about the service fee. I don't know if everybody else felt the
So
same, but
the
that's where I
monthly
was.
fee will then be what? Because that's not provided in here, it's an incomplete.
Well, we had it last month and I didn't.
That's not in this packet.
The paperwork from,
Supporting documentation is supposed to be here.
I think I have it in my minutes.
Well, let's just take one brief moment and read the minutes. Let's see.
In the minutes, I just had that
They're
51
generic.
maintenance fee. But I think I have it in my packet if you want me to go look.
Yeah, I'm always up to 51.25, she's correct.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. So while she's taking a look at that, we'll move on.
So we'll go to.
Well, we better not, because she's taking the minutes. So we'll just take a moment here while she gets her packet to, I'm pretty sure we were thinking about leasing the machine.
And I think it was the lesser of the two options, I just don't recall the amount on that, how much it was a month.
the figure for leasing and the figure for purchase.
Specific. It's so fun to find it. Like, it's so close to Chicago, and that's
If it wasn't for 275 and 94, it's okay. No, I don't want to do it.
But it's easy.
What do you got?
To lease it without a stapler at 162.83 for lease term of 63, it comes out to $10,258 and some change. If we purchase it without the stapler, we can get it for $7,269. So it's probably better to purchase it than lease it.
So it's cheaper to buy it?
You're paying $7,270 to buy it, or $10,260 to lease it.
For how many years?
63 months.
But then you're also paying the maintenance on top, it's saying, right?
Either
Either
way.
way.
Either way.
Either way, you're gonna.
And the lease is how much a month?
162.83
So the lease is 162,
plus the 51.25.
And
83 plus the 51.25. So 200, $204, $5. So the $7,200 will be expended right now. About 10,000 will be over the 62 months, is it, you said?
63 months.
63 months.
That's 7,000 to purchase it, and then what is the monthly bill for the 52?
51.25.
51.25 regardless.
On top of
And then, if I remember correctly, they had a disposal fee if we got rid of the Kyocera we currently have, right? They charged us, I don't think they did a buyback, wasn't it a disposal? If I remember correctly, it was a month ago, right?
Now, I think if we were to buy it, well, maybe either way, but if we were to buy it, he said to take this one away for,
And was that the plan?
Well, if they can use it instead of paying to
I mean,
get
do you guys
rid of
want
it.
it? Because, I mean, the whole reason we're getting rid of it is because we're efficient with it, and obviously, it's not a lot of cost. So, I mean,
There's
It's
not gonna be
not
maintenance.
I think that's what happened with the last one, is we got one the last time that you guys gave to us and went broke, and it sat there until we decided what we were gonna do to get rid of it, so. I mean, for me, we can just walk over here and make a copy. Because if it breaks, then
Yeah.
Broke.
Exactly.
We've
It's
got
paperweight.
a couple of printers that we can make copies of now. If it's a small amount or whatever, other than that, we can just walk over here.
So we would have to basically approve that additional fee for disposal then.
Do you have to pay them to get rid of it, or do you buy it?
What's that 100?
That's what we pay now.
Well, just make a motion to purchase for, you said $72.69 with a monthly service fee of $51.25.
I'll second it.
So we'll have to have a separate motion as far as the disposal fee then, if there is one indeed. Because we can find that, right?
Well, we'll have time for that because the minute we tell them we want this, it might be 2 months before we get it.
Okay.
So we can decide what the disposal is going to be. To vote on it.
DeShano?
Yes.
Cancel?
Yes.
Davidson?
Yes.
Cruz?
Yes.
Gladys?
Okay, on to new business. we approved a lawn company that, I'm just gonna put this in a nutshell, is not furnishing the paperwork we're asking for, and is not exactly who he says he is, and he's trying to manipulate his income. So I feel that we should probably, I guess I don't know the exact word, retract our acceptance of his bid
Rescind the motion.
in a motion and move on with one of the other companies that we had in when we did the bids.
Those would be two different motions, obviously, one to rescind and another one to
Right.
approve somebody
Right.
else.
We gotta rescind the one first, and
So the motion is to rescind the bid for A&M Lawn Care, Lawn Service of 3158 Yorkshire Drive, Bay City, Michigan, 48706. And
I'll second that motion.
And Sherry.
we'll take a roll call vote on that.
Hanson,
yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Glass,
Yes.
DeShane.
Yes. So we had an existing company mow in the interim since we didn't have anything set up when this all fell apart. And they actually had a lower price that we were just charging for that. So do we have a bid from them?
I got one today, but I'm not going to reopen the bids because that would start things all over again and we wouldn't vote on it till August. And guess what? By September, I don't need a lawn mowing company probably.
Okay,
So,
however, we already have all their paperwork. They can start immediately. They've already helped us in a pinch. And I don't believe we had the Schultz one before, did we? I don't remember. Did
these
we have
are,
Schultz in there?
these
I
are
don't-
the bids
I didn't remember that
we were
name.
looking at the day we accepted A and B, or A and
Because that one's
M.
from 6-3. I remember this guy. I remember this one.
And the next highest bid is $520.
But the gentleman that helped us out in a pinch only charges $500.
I charged us $600 the first time.
Well, it hadn't been mowed for 3 weeks, so I can't blame
But
him.
he didn't pick any lawn up. He did do a good job mowing it the first time for $600.
So the whole bid process was a mess. However, if this gentleman that we already have an existing relationship with, that has done a good job for us in the cemetery, who helped us when we were in a position, and is offering to do it for less money, and he submitted a bid. I mean, he didn't submit a bid before. Was he aware of the fact that we were accepting bids before? Was he made aware?
No.
Okay.
And the reason why he wasn't is because when we accepted the bid last year, he said he couldn't do it for that. So I didn't ask him this year to bid on it.
Okay, but we did ask him to do us a favor when we were in a position, and he stepped up and did that. And the price that he's charging us is less than the other bill, and we already have all the paperwork in place. They're already an approved contractor, so why would that not be included?
No.
Well, none of these were
None of them were
bids.
sealed.
None of them. Sam just put them in an
No,
envelope and
you're
sealed
right,
them.
Charlie, you're right, because we had a special meeting on, I believe, June 3rd, because at our May meeting, there was a big stink that the bids weren't sealed.
And they were supposed to be.
You're right. And then at our special meeting, we went ahead and not suggested that we allowed an unsealed bid, but then we awarded it to the unsealed bid, which obviously that didn't work out.
It
So,
wasn't unsealed.
I mean,
That
if it
put
was
in an
unsealed,
envelope.
I think we
Well,
should just vote the name
I
sealed.
only put the bids after I talked to the companies. I was gonna seal them and we were gonna reopen them at the.
Here's the problem. We don't seal a sealed bid. Anybody will tell you in the process of a sealed bid that your bid gets sent to whoever the company is. So it's just a
Okay,
done.
you know what, no, Lori's right, the whole thing was a mess from the beginning.
Yeah.
But now you're asking us to stray from the policy.
I'm not asking nothing.
That you've accused us of not following to begin with. But yet, this situation is okay.